Hello, everybody. This is 3.6, the last lesson in the chapter. And basically, now we're just putting it all together. So, this is looking at order of operations with rational numbers. To remember, in order to solve multiple step questions that involve rational numbers, we must follow the rules of BEDMAS, just like in everything else. A bit of review. Number one, you do everything inside the brackets first. That's the B in BEDMAS. If there's a set of brackets within another set of brackets, like inception brackets, you do the innermost set of brackets first. And often, so it'll be drawn like this. It'll be brackets, say 1, and then the inside the brackets will be shown as square brackets, something like that, plus 5. So you solve this inner set of brackets first. Next, you simplify or evaluate all exponents. So remember last chapter we were looking at simplifying exponents quite a bit. So simplify or evaluate all exponents. Then you evaluate or solve all division and multiplication in order from left to right. So like reading a book. And then finally, evaluate all the addition and subtraction. That's the A and S of our BEDMAS in order from left to right again. So take a minute to review this. I mean, I know we've been going over it quite a bit. The same applies here, but you always have to follow the same instructions. So remember now all of the rules from the previous rational number lessons. Okay, there's 2 exclamation mark there. Okay, that's how important it is. So number 1, use common denominators when adding or subtracting fractions, and when multiplying fractions times the tops and the bottoms. So okay, you need the same number on the bottom to add it. There you go. When multiplying fractions, multiply the tops and the bottoms. So say 1 over 2 times 1 over 2, you get 1 over 4. Oh, why did I do a plus there? Get 1 over 4. When dividing fractions, multiply the reciprocal, so that I sometimes just say the flip. So again, if we had 1 over 2 divided by 1 over 2, it would be like 1 over 2 times the flip of that second one. And again, we get 2 over 2. And last, you don't need to write all of this down. You can if you want. I know I'm going really fast, but I'm just trying to do a quick review. This is really notes that you should know, but totally fine to go over this and to remember it. So remember our positive, and a positive is a positive. Remember a negative and a negative is a positive. Remember a positive and a negative is a negative. So it doesn't matter what order. Oops, that's a negative. Those two are in. They're both negative. And finally, convert mixed numbers to improper fractions. So if we've got a 3 and a 1 over 2, you times the denominator by a whole number and add the top. So you end up 7 over 2 there. Okay, that's a pretty quick review. But take your time with that if you can. But this is basically all we learned in this chapter, all we've been reminding ourselves in this chapter. And all this stuff up here, you would have learned it in the last few years. So as long as you remember all of those things, we should be good to go. And these questions, they can seem intimidating, and I just recommend like taking an extra breath before you start. So don't freak out. There's sometimes a lot of steps, but if you just kind of go at it methodically and do it bit by bit, you will get through it. And I recommend using as much space as you can to do each of the steps. So let's just take a minute to look at this. And I want to point out that like there's brackets here, right? There's nothing going on inside the brackets. So just because there's a bracket doesn't mean that you necessarily need to start there. What we do need to start with is like the expressions. So like what's happening. And then we can see that there's something being multiplied. So let's do that part first. The other thing is addition, and multiplication goes before that. So multiplication, we just need to multiply the tops. We need to multiply the bottoms. So let's go 2 times -1 over 3 times 2. And then we still have that 5 over 6 over there. So now let's see that that's -2 over 6. And let's not reduce this yet because we're going to be adding a 5 over 6. And we need the same number on the bottom. So let's not reduce this just yet. But now we need to do -2 plus 5, which gives us 3 over 6 or 1 over 2. So there you go. That's that one.